So
Yeah.
last night, she said, "We're gonna beat Mura now."
And I don't know how.
With 5 goals now. Anyway, last night was 5-1 against Mura. It started off really well, 2 goals in the first 7 minutes, but then it went really dead, didn't it? Up until the kind of substitutions, until the big guns came on.
Yeah, and look, there's a bit of a debate going on online at the moment. I've seen in Spurs circles. I don't know if it's a debate, but it's more of a conversation. Like, Nuno made those 3 subs on the hour mark, bring on Kane, Tottenham and Mura when we're 2-1 up. Obviously, we all saw at the beginning of the second half, Spurs, or even, to be honest, for a lot of the first half as well, Spurs completely dropped off, allowing Mura back in the game. I don't think we were any real danger of not winning the game. However, there was danger of the game, of letting the game slip away a bit and not maybe making it as easy as it probably could have been. Sorry, not making it as easy as it could have been in terms of when we're 2-0 up after 7 minutes. You got to look to just completely kill the game, like make it 2, 3, 4, 5 in the first half when it's that easy. But I feel like, so we're 2-0 up going to the second half. You're expecting maybe after a slow, like half an hour or 40 minutes or so, you're maybe expecting like Nuno to get into the team and get a bit of reaction and maybe go again in the first half and come out like we did in the second half, and come out like we did in the first half. We didn't do that, but was it right for Nuno to bring on those subs? Was that, obviously we won 5-1, but what it's going to do to the players' confidence who he brought off, for example, Scarlett and Hill, was that the right decision? Even though we all know Son, Kane and Lucas were always going to win us the game. That was obvious. Well, that's everyone knows that they're obviously too good for the Slovenian division, right? But what kind of message did it send out that he had to use those subs at that time?
I think, look, you say we were in no danger of losing or whatever, or letting the game slip, but I think those first 10 minutes of the second half, Mura really started to strut their stuff, and I thought they came out with on the second half with a bit of a point to prove. Yeah, maybe would never have lost the game, but they were well in the game after that first goal they scored.
Look, they were in the game, but let's not like pretend like they really look like scoring.
Well, fine, they didn't look like scoring, but they were growing in the game, and you know, if they were growing, who knows what could have happened after that 10-minute spell. You know, they could have got another lucky goal and they're back in the game 2-2.
Yeah, I know.
So I think that it's ridiculous that it had to come to that. It's ridiculous that it had to come to
that's
the
what I'm saying, yeah.
Players on the pitch. But I don't think that's anything down to Nuno. That's down to the players on the pitch. And I think that maybe it is down to Nuno.
People are saying, what does it say about Nuno, the fact he had to use those players yesterday?
The thing is, look at last season with Jose Mourinho. He had to do the same things in the Europa League group stages as well.
Yes and no. I remember Antwerp he did, but other games we could get through without them. It wasn't every game.
True. There were certain games. I mean, didn't Kane have to play against Ludogorets and stuff like that?
Can't remember. You know what? I can't remember every Europa League game. I just remember like even Wolfsberger, like Kane and Son didn't play. Both of them didn't play and stuff like that. So,
but it says a lot. It does. It says a lot about our squad. Dane Scarlett, I really felt for him last night because I felt like he kind of went missing in the game yesterday. You got to say that, but. He was getting obviously no service whatsoever. Pretty much, he was going vanishing in that game. But I felt like if he would have brought on players like a Son and a Mura just to support him a bit more, or even a Kane and a Mura or a Kane and like 2 of the 3, or maybe just one of them, he would have seen chances.
Yeah,
he would have seen chances. So I would have liked to seen him stay on for 90 minutes yesterday.
Yeah, I would have. However, I just think that it was proof to me yesterday. As much as I think this guy is definitely one to look out for, and I think he's got a lot of potential. I just think he's not physically ready, and I think if you're not able to have a bit of like even obviously at that age it's difficult against any opposition, but if you're not able to impact the game against that kind of opposition, I'm sorry, we can't trust him for Premier League games. I just don't think we can. I think he would look better with better players around him. Anyone will look better with players around him, but even say I don't know, Vinicius or something yesterday. even with those players around him, he still gets a couple of chances, I reckon. You know what I mean? I think he does. I think he does. Because I think physically he would be able to muster his way in and create a couple of chances for himself. Scarlett, if he wasn't getting, if he wasn't kind of getting, I thought not just his off the ball movement, I felt like quality-wise a bit yesterday, you know, when he did get the opportunity to get on the ball, be involved in the build-up play, his quality and physicality was a bit lacking. And there was one great moment where he did a really good dummy, which nutmegged the Slovenian player, but he just didn't have the pace to get on the other end of it. And I just feel like physically at his age, at 17, it's understandable, but I feel like he's nowhere near ready yet to be competing at this level. Physically, look, technically we don't know yet, but physically I don't think he's up to it just yet.
The thing is, it makes him look a lot worse with the players he's got around him and the teams he's been playing in. He played in the Passos game and he played last night, and both of them we played a kind of B team pretty much. And it makes him look a lot worse. I would like to see him in a team that's filled with talent. You know, Son on the left, Mura on the right. You know, something like that. Maybe an Ndombele in behind him, something like that. So if he would get proper service, that's what I would like to see. And a player like him, of his age, coming into a team like that, you can't just be left up front alone with nothing around you. You've got to be.
I don't think that was the case yesterday.
I think it was because after 7 minutes we did nothing.
Yeah, I know, but I don't think it was the case that there was no one around him. I think we were camped in their half for a lot of the half. We didn't do much with it, yeah, true, but I don't think it was the case of him being of no one being around him. I just think he got bullied out of the game.
People need to deliver for him.
I think he got bullied out of the game. I think he was too easily marked, to be honest. I feel like it's different to not different, but I just feel like yesterday was a bit of proof that physically I don't think he's ready yet.
I think you can clearly see that, but all I'm saying is if he had better players like Son and Kane and Mura around him, or 2 out of 3, 1 out of the 3, you would have seen him get chances, and you know he probably would have scored a goal. And you know we're probably not having this conversation today if he gets that.
Maybe, but I think you got to look. He's got Gil and Lo Celso with him, with Dele behind him, and obviously they're not Son and Lucas, but there's still players who in this level, can create chances.
But you got to look at how the players played in the game. Gil, I don't think really impacted the game that well yesterday. He was running around putting great energy in the game, but still he didn't really impact that game. Lo Celso only really started performing when he went centrally, when Dane Scarlett went off. And who was the other player you mentioned? Dele Alli. He was hardly in the game as well. So it's difficult, man. You have to have the players around you kind of feeding you. Otherwise, you're not going to get anything. You're just going to be feeding off scraps. And that's exactly what he was doing.
Yeah, I just don't think we should be relying on him right now. At 17.
That's definitely
17
true.
years of age. I think it's not right, actually. I feel like we're putting him in these situations because we've got no one else. And then we're making 17. Well, I don't think. Look, I personally, I just don't think he's physically ready. And then we're making judgments on him when he shouldn't be. I just don't think he's ready for the first team yet, just physically. I think that's a harsh reality at the moment. And look, 99.999 of Premier League players are not ready at 17. So it's no criticism of Scarlett to say he's not ready yet to play the Premier League. I just think that's reality, and I think we're kind of forcing him into this situation when he's not ready for it, and it's not right. And I think then you'll get people. We've got people saying, "Oh, he never make it, and he's going to be rubbish because he can't play at 17," and that's not right for him to be receiving that kind of criticism at this age when most players are not ready at this age, and we shouldn't be putting. I don't know. I feel like. I'm not saying we shouldn't be putting him in the limelight, but I feel like maybe even these kind of games is too much for him at the moment to make an impact.
Yeah, it is when he's playing alongside the players he's playing against. But if he was to play against better quality players, he would look better.
You think if he played him in the Premier League with Son and Lucas, he could get chances?
Not in the Premier League, but in a game last night.
Last night, yeah. But that's what I'm saying. I don't mind. Look, as I said before, Conference League, I'm really not bothered about. But like Premier League, I just don't think we can rely on him to come off the bench. I don't know. Like I don't know if that's good for him. Like maybe come off the bench if we really need a goal and he can get something. But like people like Brian were calling for him to start like in Premier League games. I like because he will try more. I was like, I think it's kind of sending him to the wolves if you start.
It's the exact same thing as when all the fan base were trying to get Troy Parrott to start, and then he came on and missed that penalty against Norwich, and no one ever spoke about him again.
Exactly. We'll talk about Troy Parrott. He's doing very well at the moment. Yeah, MK Dons, but
great assist, and he's scored about 2 or 3 goals already so far. Troy Parrott.
They're loving him over there, which is good news. I'm glad for him. That's what Scarlett needs. He needs a good loan move or something to get some more minutes in and really learn his trade, like how to be a striker up against like strong centre backs, where you can't just rely on your technical ability. You actually have to be involved in physical battles and hold the ball up and brush people off. And I think at 17. Some players are ready at 17. I just think he's not. I think he's a bit weak at the moment. That's it. Most players physically aren't ready till they're 20, 21. Kane wasn't physically ready till he was 21. So
at the end of the day,
on Scarlett.
This is no disgrace on the Scarlett. This is a complete disgrace on the board.
Yeah, of course it is.
A complete disgrace on the board. We're going into a season where our backup striker is a 17-year-old kid who's never had any Premier League experience whatsoever.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where we're at right now.
And he really is a kid. Like Rooney was a 17-year-old man. Right, Scarlett's a 17-year-old kid. It's a difference, big difference. And but anyway, that's enough about Scarlett because we can go on all day. Let's talk about Lo Celso because, people are talking about him looking a lot better centrally yesterday than on the right. He hasn't really had too many opportunities. I can't remember too many under Nuno where he's played in the centre rather than on the right. And obviously he did get the goal early doors, which was a nice bit of play and a good finish. Did then kind of wean out the game for the latter part of the first half and the early part of the second half. Once he moved centrally, when he had Son and Kane and Mura to play with, he was a different player, playing quick through balls, playing over the top through balls to Reguilon, getting shots off, and obviously got 2 assists as well.
He was my man of the match last night.
Yeah.
I thought he was brilliant, especially when he moved centrally. But when he was out on the right, he vanished in that game after that goal, pretty much. I mean, what did he do up until he scored, up until all the subs were made?
Yeah, nothing.
Next to nothing, right? Like the whole team. So I don't want to see him in that position anymore. I really just don't think it suits him.
I don't think he's had one good game
That's
on
what
the
I'm
right.
saying. Every time he plays in that position, he goes missing. Every single time. At least you know in the centre, he might not play well here and there, but you know there's more chance of him doing something in that position than anywhere else.
He starts for Argentina in the centre and sent him in a 4-3-3, what we play.
Yeah.
Like, he's literally ready and waiting there, Lo Celso, to be in that position. I just feel like, Lo Celso, I'm not saying he could be the answer, but I really believe we should be playing him in the centre. Like, because as much as we criticise Ndombele off the ball, I think Ndombele is better on the ball than Lo Celso because I just think his dribbling and technique and stuff like that hard to beat. But I think Lo Celso does have good creativity, does have a good pass on him, and I don't think he's as much of a liability off the ball as Ndombele. And he actually works a bit harder. So I want to see actually, you know what? I think Mourinho had it right. What he used to do. What he used to do was play one of them for an hour, then he used to play them both in the centre, play Lo Celso for an hour, or Ndombele, and then sub them off. And the last half an hour, the other one would come on. And when we were doing that, I think it worked for a time. And I actually want us to do that again. I don't want to see Lo Celso on the right anymore. I know you try and ways to fit them both in the team, but I think it's difficult to play them both. I think they're both playing the same position.
But again, goes back to the board. We've only got one right winger in the squad.
Yeah, and that's Lucas. Yeah,
we've got one right winger in the squad. How ridiculous is that?
Yeah,
we've got one right winger. We've got one striker. I mean, how many?
We've got 3 left wingers.
You know what I mean?
Bergwijn, Son, and Gil.
How many kind of examples of this do people need to see before wanting this board out? I mean, it's ridiculous. The squad is just so threadbare. That is why Lo Celso keeps having to play on the right, because we just don't have options.
Yeah, and he doesn't look as comfortable there. I want him in the centre. I just want him rotating with Ndombele in that position. That's what I want to see, and I think that will get the best. And unfortunately, if you do that, it sidelines Dele. But I think, unfortunately, that's just reality, because I think with Dele, I don't think he provides on the ball in the centre of the park what them two can provide consistently, and off the ball as well. I think the other two, even in Ndombele, well, not in Ndombele, but I think even off the ball, it doesn't make up what Dele doesn't make up for what he doesn't do on the ball in the centre of the park.
Dele is so frustrating.
So
man.
I want
My
to.
patience is running so thin with him now.
I actually think
really
I want Lo Celso to start on Sunday. Actually, while I think about it.
Over in Ndombele.
Yeah, I want him to start in the centre. Him, Højbjerg, and Skip. I want to see that three. I want to see how they would do. That'd be interesting because I still actually think they would be solid, and Lo Celso maybe could provide that link because he's quite good. He's quite a good ball carrier as well, Lo Celso.